I feel quite hungry.
Thank you for your patience. I will be with you in a moment. That was probably really loud compared to the nature vid. I'm sorry. Right, without any further ado, as they say, I'm here. Hello, hi, hello everyone. Sorry about the wait. As discussed, I was eating a burger. I was actually eating 2 burgers, because I thought I suddenly had the sort of desire at about 11 o'clock to stream. And now I thought, well, I need to eat because otherwise I'm going to have to eat midstream, and I don't want to do that. So let's just have lunch now because I ain't had breakfast. Let me say some hellos. Hello to Tall. Hello Stein. I'm glad you sorted your speakers out. I hope they're sounding good. Let's get that vibrate off. That's no good. That's unprofessional. Hello Mora. Hello Caxips06. I'm sorry to see you go so soon. Thank you for banning them to Total. Hello Adam. And hello, of course, Lelima. And of course, Jivers. Thank you once again, Jivers, for the raid yesterday. Super generous. Hello, Virtual Bread. And hello again, Stein, of course. And I'm glad you're liking the sound of the microphone. And hello, SK. Sorry, I nearly missed you there. I've got a Coke. I'm all. It's like a McDonald's. I've got my Coke. I've got my burgers. I don't have any chips. But there is a cat. Not that I'm going to eat the cat. That was a poor segue. But there is a cat, and I can. If you hear any weird sounds during all this, it's the cat running about. Currently, it's playing with some sort of wooden toy that it's got. It's very Zoo Tycoon. The cat's happiness is rising because it's playing with its wooden toy. It also has a fluffy sort of tube, which is referred to as the Yeti finger, which I'm quite fond of. But yeah, the cat might appear at some point. We're looking after a cat. For those that missed, you're a fluffy tube. Thank you. Back in sixth form, my nickname used to be Fluffy Allard, or Allard, or Fluffy Allard the sheep, because of my hair. Allard was, of course, in reference to, I've forgotten his surname now. Is it Allard Jones? It was indeed Allard Jones, from Songs of Praise. I don't know what the significance of Allard Jones was in regards to the nickname. Maybe it was because at some point he had long hair. Maybe it was because he is Welsh and there was the sheep, and maybe it was some sort of anti-Welsh sentiment. You have to bear in mind this was an English high school sixth form, so not the most, not the most sensible and thoughtful and sensitive. I bet you are, Adam. I bet you are. completely understood as well. That being said, I could be looking too far into it, because if you sort of look at some of the photos, there's no bird drawing of a duck. But yeah, sort of Big Nostromo-esque, in a way. But yeah, I don't personally see it. Almost a little bit in that picture, almost very slightly Alzasto-esque. And Lellamo's seen the exact same thing, because Alzasto did actually have hair like that, particularly in the photo where he's riding an ostrich. His hair is very similar to that. More like looks like Nicola Sturgeon. Yeah, that's a good shout. You were called Psycho Sam in primary school. Isn't Psycho Sam a character from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? I don't want to know quite how you got that nickname, Morrow, but maybe at some point I would. It might be Psycho Steve now that I think of it. But yeah, here's one more. Songs of Praise, Alec Jones. See, that one, that actually looks a bit like my brother when he was young. So we're sort of moving slightly closer. Psycho Pete, yeah, that's it. But yeah, I don't know why I said, but yeah, shout out the stream sponsor. Let me go get the stream sponsor. The stream sponsor is running away from me. Right, the stream sponsor is fucked off basically. I was going to use the cat. Someone else has been banned. I'm getting all the. The stream sponsor will be about at some point, so you will get your redemption total. It's just he's the world's jumpiest cat. He sort of just like, yeah, he like, I'll be in here and I'll like open a can of Cokes here, and I'll hear him in like the kitchen sort of bolting it. You had to lure Marlian with a biscuit. I didn't see that. I'll have to check the VOD. I'd like to see that. Mabel, please come back. Mabel. Might be able to snare him. Mabel is gone. Mabel has left. Yeah, he is absolutely tiny. And he was not a fan of the mic. He's like, get this out of my face. I was hoping to do a sort of Limmy Bobby-esque where he does like the purr when he holds him up to the camera, holds her. But no, he didn't want none of that. So he's gone back to play with his wooden toy. And I can see the level of his happiness rising and rising. But there you go. There's your stream sponsor for today. The chair is comfortable. It's nice. It has this really nice soft head pillow, but I never use it because I tend to sit quite forward. So I'm just sort of, I have to like put in effort to use the head pillow. I do sometimes if I'm just like listening to music, or if I do this. Hello. Cat. It's probably not a flattering image. Me sort of stout. That is sort of copyrighted Adam content. Adam, I'll be depositing some funds into you for that patented moment. Pan down Nostromo. Today I'm going to be playing more Thief. Shock. We're going to be playing more of the Shadows of the Metal Age fan mission. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm excited. What's everyone up to on their Saturday? What's everyone? While I transition, that's my segue. What's everyone up to on their Saturday? How are they spending it? What's the weather like where you are? I'm sorry, don't feel obliged to answer that. You're listening to the Commonards. You got a bit drunk last night. Jivers, what were you doing? How could you? I'm only kidding. Hello, Danes. Football like every Saturday. Should be Thief like every Saturday. I'm only kidding. Trying to find 50 gold in Ramirez's mansion. Is that like? That's the Thieves Guild mission, isn't it? Yeah, that's a rough one on Expert. You're playing poker with the Cressup crew. Nice. That does sound fun, actually. And Jivers, you're quite an established poker player. So I hope you won. It's not the Thieves Guild mission, right? I thought it was. I thought Ramirez was one of the Thieves Guild. And Cressup won. Well, that stinks of rigging to me. If it was her thing. It's cold, but it's also sunny. Yeah, that's like it here. It's extremely cold, but it's also extremely sunny. You don't stream Thief every Saturday. Well, I do often. Not recently, but admittedly, but we go for. We have fairly when I am streaming, it's fairly regular Saturday streams, but I'm not pressuring you. But why aren't you always here? No, I'm kidding. Thief 2X. Danes, it's okay. This looks horrible now. I'm just like. So Danes, I've noticed that you're not always here. What's so important? No, I'm kidding. Please, Danes, you don't have to justify yourself. Yes, Jivers, I've seen you tune in at work a few times. Exactly. So, we've got a cutscene. I saved it tactically last time. I tried something that I always wanted to see if it worked, and it did work. So we're going straight into a cutscene. So last mission, quick recap. We were on a train. We were doing train stuff. And then we followed the smugglers who killed our cousin to this other place far away. Lelema, I understand that, but you don't do very well at it. Anyway, here's what happened next. I'm not reading any of this out in silly voices, so it's already a poor stream.
I ran away. Tonight, I stop running. Tonight, my retribution begins. It's been more than a year since Kadar. Since he died.
Since he was whacked.
They let me escape, and soon they'll pay for that mistake. I must have patience. I could try to kill as many of them as I could. I might even get 2 or 3 before they caught me. But that's not enough. In a month, it would mean nothing. They don't care about each other. I've asked around a little. No one in this tourist trap seems to know anything about this.
We're going to be very devious during this.
I wonder if I can use that. There are two things the thief fears. Being robbed or getting caught robbing someone else. Hopefully, I can use both fears against the free traders during my stay. I met with an associate of Moloch's here in Sunnyport this afternoon and bought everything I need.
How's those eyeball plants?
I'm going to try and sneak into their base of operations.
Very creepy then.
Steal both their wealth and their secrecy.
Nice.
If what I've learned is true,
How do you steal one's secrecy?
underground cave system. I'll sneak into their base through the secret cave entrance I saw earlier and see what I can find.
I'm not too fond of an underground cave system personally.
Forgive me for not doing anything before. Linjala, give me courage for what I must do now.
It's very rare that... I want a little bit... Very rare that I play a game with an underground cave system and I'm like, whoa, that was a good one. I was going to say it was a bit staggies. Hello, Monologued. Thank you very much. I hope your Saturday's going well too. Bloody hell, that's a lot of objective. From what little you've seen of the free traders, they appear to be tough and organised. You're not going to be able to take them all on by yourself, so you need to try and find out if they have any enemies that can be used against them. Every criminal organisation has a mastermind. Find out who runs the Sunnyport Free Traders. Can't imagine one man could run such a large group of rogues by himself. Find out who is second in command. You have no idea how big the hideout is, or how the free traders smuggle goods in and out. Steal a map of the place. Stealing from the free traders probably caused suspicion and confusion amongst its members. Make off with at least 750 in loot. Your plans for revenge are going to be ruined if the smugglers have a chance to find out about you before you find out about them. Don't knock out or kill any of them, and no matter what happens, don't let them see you. Once you've learned everything you can, get back out of the caves to safety. So I can't knock out anyone. That's such a rubbish stipulation. Not happy about that. Ooh, we don't have a lot here, do we? I'd like 2 rope arrows. Bloody hell. Oh, wow. We cannot afford a lot here. But I'm happy with that. Well, I'm content with that. I'm out here for revenge. So I can't even bonk that person there. What's going on here? Bloody hell. It's a large waterfall. Oh, way up. So, let me just test if I can bonk this person. I'm guessing I can't. I've failed an objective, so no, we cannot have any sort of interaction with this person. Which unfortunately is very difficult because there's not a single bit of shadow there. That must be an internal monologue because I can't imagine she'd be able to say that out loud. I sort of like the way the waterfalls look from underneath. Just like this big vacuum. Got some loot. Not much else going on around here. Anything across there? No. I was thinking I should probably set up like an FM command, like exclamation mark FM, because just for anyone who wonders what an FM is, or if this is part of like the main game, then I can have like exclamation mark FM in the title, and then people can come in and be like, oh, it's a mod. That's neat. You're now on the Thieves Guild mission, right? Well, have fun. To be honest, I think I was saying this to you. I actually think the mission was a lot. It really wasn't quite as bad on I'm stuck. It really wasn't as bad the second time around. It certainly wasn't pleasant, but it was, like I said, because I knew that I had to get the key first before going all the way to the other end of the map. What have I just done there? Right, I found out that the free traders have enemies. I didn't quite hear, but yeah, you'll find it easier the second time around because you have, like, you're not seeing everything for the first time, and although it's still very confusing, just having that... Ooh, a flat tooth lockpick. Having that is, yeah, having that just awareness of what everything is, or even like a basic awareness, does make all the difference. I love the way the books open before you read them. Finally got a chance to take that little foreign ship out yesterday. Handles like a charm, but the holds are too small to use for any of the big holes. I guess it's handy for some of the smaller spice runs, and I'm sure Feradoc gets a kick out of it, what with it being exotic and such. Didn't we nab that thing back when all that mess with limes was going on? Funny I haven't used it yet. Actually, come to think of it, I ain't been on any of the small spice runs in quite a while.
I knew they'd have my ship here.
Ah! I mean, we are. We too are thieves. And thief, sir. Yeah, I think I was saying to you at the time, Lalamad, that I think when I was looking it up, like advice on the mission, it seems like most people seem to agree that the Thieves Guild mission is the worst. One of the worst missions in the game, in terms of just being overly convoluted. You're going to have to take a nap at some point. No worries. I've been discovered. I think we're going to struggle to get past this lad. Do I have noisemaker arrows? I don't.
What is that over there?
I don't think that's going to work, really. Oh, look at that. It's a new kind of lock. That's neat. It's absolutely no different to usual lock picking, but it's just cool that they added another type of lock. It's a nice touch.
Grissom, make sure to get that wine mixer to Limes. You know how he whines and cries when his stuff is late. I don't know what Limes is so worried about. It's been nearly a year since we cut off Kadar. We've always come through solid for him since he started using us exclusively. His belly aching gets stale after a while. Anyway, just make sure to drop it off when you do the Rampone Spice Run this week. If that Taffer Gilver doesn't come through with those weapons in the next few days, we'll have to pay him a visit. When I was there last week, we had a huge crate of stuff sitting in his warehouse. It should have been here by now. I've got a feeling he may have found another buyer, what with all the mechanist activity around the city docks lately. Maybe he's made some new friends. I'm sending Jal back to Shalebridge to get that damned Shobel print. Starwall says there was some kind of commotion over at the Cripple Burrick, and the place was crawling with bulldogs last night. Make sure it gets back in one piece, and I don't want you getting liquored up tomorrow, Grissom. On top of everything else, we have a shipment of precious gems coming in, and you should be setting an example to the men. You're my second in command. Act like it.
We needed to find out who the second in command was. So that's helpful. UFC isn't getting watched tonight, that's for sure. That's a shame. It's a good card. What we got? So we've got the second in command. We've got drawers we can search. There's a little book. Oh shit, yeah. I wasn't allowed to do that. Give me a pot. You got anything on you? No. nothing else in here. Just realised I'm wearing the same jumper that I was wearing in the last stream. So everyone can see how much of a slob I am. Or maybe it makes me more relatable because everybody else might be wearing the same thing that they were wearing yesterday. Sit about clothes, innit? That being said, whenever I watch Staggies, he appears to be wearing the same black t-shirt, so... And I never think about that.
I heard that. Alright, come on out, you tapper.
You're a taffer. Right. Note to self, avoid that marble. See, Stein, now we immediately feel more connected. Stein, is it pronounced Steen or Stein? I always wonder, and I never think to ask. Steen, right, there we go. Not like Frankenstein. Steen, I will keep that in mind. Staggies has a cartoon character's wardrobe, to be fair. Like Alzasto and his I think he said last night 6 copies of the same t-shirt. I remember sometimes Alzasto wears like a burgundy t-shirt.
What is that over there?
Gotta stay awake. Did I just see
I guess it's just the wind.
Which always just like it confuses my brain whenever I see it. I'm sat there, my brain's like working overtime to try and understand it. What's going on? I don't mind though. My parents changed the pronunciation to suit them. The burgundy tea is a redemption, right? See.
Along to the port and open sea. Huh? That's not how it goes. Crap. She was a wind. Did that shadow move?
That shadow move.
Guess it was just the wind.
You also buy multiples of clothes. I'm trying to think if I do. I buy like... I mean, I haven't actually... This is going to sound gross, but I haven't actually bought any clothes in a very long time. Except for like jackets and stuff. And the suit I bought the other day. But like in terms of just regular wear around clothes, I haven't really bought any for quite a long time. Which makes sense because people go out less these days, but... I used to quite like the ritual of buying clothes. Also Top Man's clothes. I used to get most of my clothes from there. Oh. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna have to reload because I don't have many of those. I don't have many water auras at all. 10 hoodies in various colours, mostly what I wear. See, I used to wear lots of hoodies. I used to wear the, when I was young, I used to wear like the zip hoodies all the time. But similar to like a food that you have too much of, I just can't wear them anymore. I don't like how they look on me. But yeah, like the only sort of thing where I'd have multiple of would be like plain white tees, something like that. Not to be confused with the band, the Plain White Tees. What we got here? Captain Neeson Ferodox quarters keep out under penalty of death. I'm guessing this is the leader. Yeah, the leader. Hate men's fashion. Kinda same. I also like some of it. Women's clothes shopping definitely looks more fun, yeah. I don't like when you sort of go into a shop and the, oh. I can only open this lock so far, apparently. Oh, hello. The cat is back. I can't open it any further, that's a shame. Maybe I need to find a third kind of lockpick. Yeah, I always don't like it when you go into a shop and the women's section spans over like 2 floors. Then the men's section is just like a The cat has just knocked my copy of Zoo Tycoon off the shelf. What are you doing? Can't believe this. Yeah, I don't like it when there's only a tiny, like, cupboard for men's clothes. Because it's already hard enough to find something specific to what you're after. Without making that area tiny. It's because you compared the cat to Zoo Tycoon. That's true, actually. What a coincidence. Where's it gone? I have to be careful because this Tomahawk, welcome in. Thank you very much for the 10 bits. Too Big to Nostromo, the sequel. Welcome in. How's it going? A sign of what to stream next. I was thinking about streaming Zoo Tycoon a while ago, but I think I streamed it to Lalamo on Discord, and I sort of built a bunch of stuff, and then there was just like this pause where I had no money, and I essentially just had to wait for my money to build up. There it is, the original Zoo Tycoon.
Explosive.
Very good. Sadly, does not run on. I don't know if it'll pick that up. Should do. Will it pick it? There we go. Just about. It does not run on Vista. Everyone hated Vista, didn't they? I never had a Vista PC. But everyone hated it. Hello, Rex. How's it going? But yeah, I only streamed it on Discord, I think, Lalama. I mean, actually, I streamed Planet Zoo briefly. I haven't played Planet Zoo in ages, and I would like to get back into it. The thing with Planet Zoo is there's so much you can do. For one stream, I was going to, but I never did, I don't think. Oh, I'm back here now. This is right back at the start. Yeah, Joel Shabang used to stream the sort of more recent Zoo Tycoon. Yeah. Which I think I have. I think my ex used to play it on my account, and I wasn't too fond of the look of it. But Planet Zoo is definitely the it's definitely the superior successor to it. I've got to find out how to get in here. So I can't use either of the. There must be another type of lockpick then. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it's like, Lalama. It's very simplistic. But I mean, there's like, I guess one of the good things is there's like different ways you can interact with the animals after you've put them in an enclosure. Like you can play games with them, and there's something behind this, you know. There was not. Yeah, there's like different things you can do with the animals once they're in the enclosure, but I think that's kind of missing the point, innit? If you think that people play tycoon games to spray a tapir with a water gun, admittedly, I would like to spray a tapir with a water gun in a nice way, but that would not be my main focus. I think I actually got a DLC recently that added tapirs to
Join up with the free traders.
Planet Zoo, but I could be wrong. They could have already been in there. I was wondering about streaming more Planet Zoo, to be honest, because I did enjoy it. But the thing about Planet Zoo I was going to say is there's a lot you can do in terms of sort of customization of what it looks like and whatnot.
Wait, what?
In terms of like zoo buildings and stuff, you can really customize it and you can get really in depth. And I love that sort of thing, but it also super intimidates me. Because I'm just sat there and I feel like I need to have like a really heavily customized zoo. But I don't have the talent to do some of the things people do.
What's that?
Make a bird-only zoo, if only. Does Planet Zoo have capybaras? I think so. I think they were also added in a recent DLC. Which I believe I've got. I might check in a bit. You listened to a podcast that made you cry about a monkey this morning. I hope the monkey was okay, Lalamar. But from the sounds of it, maybe it wasn't. Monkey was not okay, huh? Any worker who sees to the machinery repairs is reminded to wash his hands. Good stuff. Before retiring for the evening. This includes machinery down at the docks. We are not barbarians here, and we certainly don't want to get any grime on the merchandise, nor the fine goods stored throughout the hideout. New recruits are encouraged to keep their griping to themselves. Everyone is treated fairly here. The next free trader I catch ruining our goods due to negligence will have the offending hand removed from his art. Bloody hell. His feet are killing him. Oh. What have I done there? Oh, I've got enough in loot. That didn't seem like much. I don't know what sort of bird, how many birds you can get in it, to be honest, Adam. I think there's a decent selection, like, in terms of ostriches and whatnot, but I can't remember there being, like... I always wanted a zoo game that, like, let you have custom aviaries and stuff. If you go to, like, Chester Zoo, they have these big aviaries that include multiple species of birds. Like vultures mixed in with like cranes and ibises and that sort of thing. And it'd be neat if you could build something like that, like an enclosure with a roof on it, like a net roof. Some gourmet halibut stew. Lovely stuff.
Augustus, I know you came from a wealthy family, but there is to be no more of this eating on the job. I allow you to cook with our precious spices, because you make fine food, but this doesn't mean you can use them any time you please for personal needs. On your own personal hotcakes. You should know better than anyone how transitory most of our goods are, and now we need to sell any spice we don't use. Take, for instance, your testicles.
Bloody hell.
They will be transitorily attached to your body. If I find out you or any of the other grunts are wasting our commodities as the leader of this outfit, I allowed you to join up with us because you're supposed to be cooking, not eating. I expect you to take this seriously. Grissom tells me you've burned my last 3 warnings.
Well, this one is right next to the fireplace, so that might be getting the same treatment. Oh, proper snacked on that. That was some crunchy bread. Wish I could feed the birds at Chester Zoo without spending £100. Yeah, that would be lovely. I would absolutely love a zoo experience, but I don't know what experience I'd pick. I'd love a rhino experience, but I'm not sure what that would entail. 125 quid for the penguins. Bloody hell. I think a lot of people tend to go for like the cheaper ones, and the cheaper ones are like the less popular animals, which I find sort of sweet. I like the idea that all the animals would be visited evenly and that none of them would feel left out, but realistically I don't know if they'd really be bothered. There's the map. Good stuff. Like last time I went, there were people visiting the aardvarks, and the aardvarks were one of the cheaper ones. I can't think why aardvarks wouldn't be very popular. They're adorable. I think they're nocturnal though, so you rarely see them about. I mean in zoos, not in like the UK. Obviously you rarely see them about in the UK. 125 quid to feed a Komodo dragon with a stick through a cage. That would still be very special though, wouldn't it? But yeah, that is expensive.
Damn hearty New Year it was here. Half the boys passed out celebrating the fact we're over 20 strong now. Been a right profitable year too. Ha! More men means less money for each of us. I prefer the old days, when it was just a few guys. Damn surprising the hammers haven't caught on yet. We own this town. If it weren't for us, the whole damn place would close down. Oh, that's a lot, Journal. How do you like the free traders so far? They're a tough bunch of lads, but I'm sure you'll fit in just fine. Glad you decided to come and join us. Ma and Pa would still have you fetching ale for those hypocritical hammers right now. It's not in every organisation you get to learn to fight for yourself and travel about at the same time. Sure, hauling barrels up from the docks is tough, but everyone has to put in their share of sweat. Keep it up, and you'll be out with me in the fresh air guarding the shop in Sunnyport. Very good. Should be paid to feed the animals. If there was sort of closer zoos to me, I would probably just I know zoo experiences are supposed to be gifts, but I would probably just buy myself one and just go hang out with animals quite often, to be honest. Will I be able to? No, there's too many barriers up there, so I don't think I'd even be able to get up there. I've been down here yet. Final level of Thief 2 is shite. It's not fun. It's really not fun. It's huge as well, innit? It was a real slog. I found it particularly annoying to do on stream because, like, I was having to constantly look up stuff. I was having to look stuff up all the time. I was oh, there's the third lockpick. Nice. I was just very conscious of how long it was taking me, that kind of thing. Well, yeah, I mean, if you enjoy it, that's fair enough. But yeah, I too didn't find it particularly fun.
All kinds of weird sounds, I tell you. Rats, bats, burglars.
Burglars.
Oh dear. Bloody hell. Am I going to be able to... Yeah. Oh, we're over here now, okay. So this is like the front entrance that we didn't use. What's going on over there? It does have a vast range of accents. I like all the voice actors, but I think one of the things that really stands out when you have such a polished fan mission or anything really is when the sort of quality of the microphones isn't quite there or isn't quite consistent. So although all the voice actors do a good job of like capturing what Thief voice acting sounds like, it's just a shame that they don't all have like the best microphones to hand. I don't know if I'm going to be able to really get anywhere from in here. There's a little sort of tunnel, maybe? No, that's a barrel. That's a barrel that looks like a tunnel. Maybe through there. Which means we've sadly come to the wrong end. Hello, lads. Also eliminates the best and cutest guard voice.
You better run now. Get too comfortable. You're dead. I'll find you in a minute. You picked the wrong guy to hide from.
Clearly.
Find you.
Hello, Gangrene. Welcome in. I don't even think this is a glitch. I think this is just... If you can't be seen... They just don't find you, even if they bump into you.
Free traders.
Right, well they don't seem to be stopping, so I'm gonna... You can climb up there, so you got to assume there's... right, okay. So this is actually the river that we got in with previously, I think. Oh, shit. Is it? I need the ice arrow, don't I? Done that thing again where I've jumped right on the edge of the thing. How is your day going, Gangrene?
Battery 10%.
10%. Let's get that plugged in. Look at that. You're saving the stream there, Gangrene. Yeah, that was... I think that was the first of the stream. Exactly. Exactly. Why can I only get onto the very edge of this? It doesn't want to let me climb up from, like, here. Maybe you're not meant to be able to get up here, but that will not be stopping me, I'm afraid. Why can't I get up there? If I just sort of... No! Right. There must be a way up there, surely, because I've forgotten to put the arrow down again. Get my ice arrow out. Kablam! Maybe one of the other elemental arrows is what we need here. But I'm not too sure about that. Oh! There was even more loot that I'd missed. There goes my ice. How am I not reaching that? Right. See if we can... One more go. Not a spoiler, you can tell me. I'm gonna try a couple of things first. Nah. Maybe you need other elemental crystals for those to work. It's alright. We've potentially...
Won't find you yet.
Ah! I wonder if... Nah, no, that didn't work. No, I'd rather just sort of try and figure it out. Why can't you just grab that ladder and just stick it up there? And by I'd rather figure it out myself, that apparently means I'd rather just keep oh! It's fine, it's fine. We did it the cheaty way. Apparently there's just no way to get on there at all, though. Oh, there we go. We did it. We did it. We probably shouldn't have done it, but we did it. First try. Exactly, exactly. He'll find me in a minute.
You gone too far this time, you camel man at Tunnig-Wedding Mollycoddle!
That's never getting old. Hang on. Have I not been up here? I've been up here anyway. So I'm guessing you were supposed to get there from here. Bloody hell. Well, that's fine. It's fine that we're back here because I think this is fairly close to the office that we were trying to get into. I think it was on this side. Through here. Yeah, here it is. Right, let's get our nifty new lockpick on there. Wherever it is. Sharp-toothed lockpick.
Captain Neeson, Kreese says some hammers came snooping around the goodie bag yesterday. I thought hammers had to swear off candy once they converted. Maybe these two have a little secret. He says they snooped around the place a bit, real authoritative-like. Then, authoritative. That's such a weird word to say. How do you lockpick a slide door? I don't really know how that lock's supposed to work, but I like it. I like it. Then ordered a half-pound of double mint fudge. Says they kept looking over their shoulders the whole time. Real nervous. I almost wonder if they suspect something, but won't report it, because they've got a little secret, a little sweet tooth. Either way, we need to be more careful around there. Maybe lay low on daytime activity for a while. The whole incident makes me wonder how much they really know. We can't afford to make them suspicious right now, and we're really pushing things with all of the new recruits we got. The more I think about it, though, the more we need them. Without their watching over things, the nobles wouldn't come to Sunnyport, and without all the fat cats, we'd lose our contacts and our cover. It's a might right shame we don't have somebody like Truart round here to bring in some real watch guards. They can be bought a whole lot easier than a hammer. I don't know how the hammers keep pulling all of their recruits. Wouldn't seem like the builder would have much say in a sin-filled, cold and nasty town like Sunnyport. Guess that huge, ominous cathedral they got at the north end is a sign of authority and power in and of itself. Whole situation just makes me want to get liquored up. Anyway, you're the boss, so I thought you should know. So these hammer guards are causing a bit of trouble. So we're basically done, actually. That's yeah. Yeah, so the Hammerites are our best bet to bringing down this lot then. See if we can get this opened up. I always find the fact that the safes are like, they've got like this dial that has to be turned, and then also they just have a very easily pickable keyhole as well as a backup. Kind of defeats the purpose of having a safe.
City next week. I'll go to see Sally. That's what I'll do.
Do you remember the craze of those videos? I think I've spoken about this on stream before. Do you remember that craze of videos where it was like, we found a briefcase or we found a safe with £100,000 in cash just lying around, and there were like hundreds of these videos, all with like millions of views. People were loving it. People were loving the idea of just finding a briefcase full of cash just kicking about.
Oh no, I've been noticed.
What? What are you doing down here? Two most exciting prospects to me as a child were adventure and treasure. Yeah, I guess it's like the modern version of like Treasure Island, isn't it? Just briefcase full of money. These millennials, they don't wanna find a hidden pirate treasure anymore. They just want to find some corrupt hedge fund manager's briefcase of dirty cash, and that's sickening. I'm gonna have to wait for this lad to pass. We did it. I like this sort of Matrix-esque outro that each mission has.
Retribution, a precise tool in the hands of the righteous, for the wayward find penance by the vengeance of enemies. There is a large chain, but workman, beware the sharp edge of justice, lest thy tool be turned on thyself. And wounds laid open, which death cannot heal.
The Hammerites. Apparently not very popular in the city, but it looks like they're the law here in Sunnyport. If there is any such thing as true law in this land of infidels.
There's a cat down there.
A new group called the Mechanists seem to be running them out of the city recently, so the Hammers have retreated to some of these little out-of-the-way towns, like Sunnyport, where they appear to be thriving. These guys, however, seem to have been here for some time. I don't know or care much about these strange religions or their practices. But these Hammers may be just the thing to take care of my...
I'm not gonna grab the cat. He's just sitting. His ears just pricked up when I said cat. No, I didn't then. Thought you knew I was talking about him.
I tried to find a way.
He's just chilling. He's guarding the door.
I'll just have to break in the front and see what I can find.
Why the front?
I don't have a plan yet. There's got to be some way to alert these fanatics to all the illegal activity going on.
I'm not grabbing the cat. Ugh.
If they catch sight of me, I'm dead. They don't tolerate
I turned round and he was looking at me and yawning. So I just turned round and I just see, and I was very shocked. Cat. Don't yawn at me again.
I feel quite hungry.
Hello. I was thwacked. I was thwacked by the cat. Do you wanna chill there? He was. He proper whacked me there. He's currently investigating the microphone. You won't be able to see it, I don't think. I'll pop him on the... No, he's... You can see a tail. He's here. What are you doing? He is here, just off screen. Implication of a cat. There he goes. He's gone. He's sat on the desk still. So he is present. I think we can at least bonk guards on this. Let's just go back to the brick. No, not that one. Review goals. Don't kill any hammers, but we are allowed to bonk him, which is all I need to know. Hello, little cat. I wouldn't sit on the computer, but it looks like you're gonna do that anyway. Oh, please avoid. I'm very concerned that the computer button is, the power button is on top of the computer, so he might accidentally just step on the power. Right, one moment. Let me clear you a space. There you go. The cat has been cleared a space. Now don't go back up on top of the computer. Do not go back up there. What are you doing? I've just cleared you. I've just put a bunch of shite on the floor. Right, I'm gonna have to lift him down. I'll be on edge. Here you go. Where you gone? I have to be wary where he is, because this chair is so heavy that I'm worried if I sort of back into him, I'll seriously damage him. Oh, I'm out of breath after all that. After all that heavy lifting. What are we taking? Get a gas. Oh, let's get a gas arrow. Let's get a rope arrow. A couple more moss arrows. Then just water arrows. It's not great, that. I wish you could opt to save money by just choosing not to take broadhead arrows. Because broadhead arrows are shite. That little light in there. Having a little sort of bath. Look at that. This is a neat part. Do you know what? It's been a while since we've had a bonk. Nearly wasn't a bonk. I think that's the first bonk of the stream. Do you know what? Shall we have a channel points prediction? A gamble, if you will. Hello, Alex. Welcome in. Do you know what? Someone raised the point the other day that we never do gambles. Does someone want to set up a prediction for... don't know what would be a good prediction. I was going to say time spent in the mission or amount of guards bonked, but I don't want to sort of force myself into thinking, oh, I can't spend more time in this mission than I want to if I'm enjoying the mission, you know. I don't know, actually. Guards bonked. We could do guards bonked. Because yeah, I'm gonna be bonking guards regardless, so I'm not gonna like force myself to do stuff. So we could do like will there be less than 20 guards bonked this mission? Oh, you're not actually even allowed to gamble channel points. Interesting. Yeah, does 20 sound about right? Maybe like 18 actually. Could only gamble for clout. Yeah, let's say 18. So bet 15, do you reckon? I think 15's probably right. About right. Sort of 15 to 18 margin. So everybody bear in mind... Oh, you've set up the... Right, well, there you go. Everyone bear in mind that this is the first time we've done this. We have not played... We've not played to these stipulations before. So all in. Right, okay. And then at the end of the mission, I'll check the stats and we'll see how many guards were knocked out. Bear in mind, I won't be putting a limit on how many guards I'm bonking. I don't know how many guards are going to be in this area or how many I'm not going to be able to avoid without a bonk. So just keep that in mind. I would assume that the odds would favour guards over the 18 mark. Because I do play in quite a bonk-heavy style. But, like I say, I'm not even going to be thinking about that bet. So bear that in mind. I am going to be thinking about the bet, but I'm going to try not to. Let me in. Maybe... What? Surely this window is accessible. There we go. That is a loud floor. Yes, exactly, Rex. It's gonna be the ultimate silent playthrough. Do you know what? I would love to. I might sort of one day just watch a bunch of like ghost playthroughs of Thief, see what sort of strategies people do. I think it'd be interesting to watch. Just the entrance, is it? Yeah. Is there even a lever to get up? Yeah. But if we start making channel point predictions a more regular occurrence in the playthroughs, then the price of everything will be going up. All the redemptions. I'll have to. Because everyone will just have like thousands, won't they? Oh, here we go. Don't seal of distaste me. Total, you've demanded this. You've been demanding inflation for a long time. That is a lot of points on that prediction, and it's still good. How long does that prediction last? Is it like 5 minutes? But I suppose that's fine, because yeah, the predictions do tend to take the levels do tend to take about half an hour or so. Prediction, exactly. Like I said, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. May have your second bonk coming up, to be honest.
Snow and sun polish. Bah.
Give me that key. What was that key for? Inner Chapel key. I'm just picturing everyone who put their money on no or yes or whatever would be sort of, yeah, the bird redemption will probably go up first. The 60k redemption for drawing, that probably will still stay the same. All the other redemptions will probably stay the same, but the bird drawing will go up. Not demanded. I like it when you steal the big ceramic plates. I find that some of the most satisfying loot to grab. Yeah, it has been a while since a bird redemption. Not pressuring anyone. Sometimes it is nice to have a break from the bird redemptions, as I've said before. So I don't mind. It don't matter to me, as Kings of Leon would say. Right, well, we need to find a way down, don't we? Trying to think of the safest way to get down, because we can't use... Oh, wait, no, we've got a key, haven't we? Completely forgot that I picked up a key. For the inner chapel. But not that door, sadly. Oh, there is a staircase over here, wasn't there? The urge to have a pink diamond next to your name becomes too overwhelming. I get that. It's like in lots of chats where they have high point demand that I want, but also want VIP, I'll just settle for trying to work my way into being a mod. That's my trick. You'd be very fortunate to be unmodded, Lelima. You have to do too much. Can't wait to smack this guard. That was close. That was a close call. There's a cat.
I am not hearing things. Builder, lead me to this source.
Reloading it. No, it'll be based on the final stats of the mission. So at the end of the mission it tells you how many guards you've knocked out. However, that does mean if I use a gas arrow, I may have to take note of how many, because the gas arrows count as knockouts. So I'll have to take account of how many of those happened. But I don't really use gas arrows. Even though I've bought one, I don't really ever use them. I don't think I've ever used one in an FM. But there's a couple of points in the base game where I'll use them quite a bit. That's a good point, Rex.
Snow and sunny part.
These boxes are always empty. Cathedral key. To whom it may concern, I am greatly dismayed at the growing lack of hammer security at the Silver Street carriage house. I have seen shady characters lurking about with increasing frequency. Just yesterday I confronted one of them myself and inquired as to his business here in Sunnyport. He simply sneered at me and suggested that I perform certain activities with myself that I assure you are anatomically impossible. Until you investigate these individuals further, you will not be receiving my substantial monthly donation to your order. I may be reached during business hours at the Foaming Dog Grill. Good day, Mr. Kelto Tolls. Well, 18 is looking low, but the thing is, like, you can't guarantee how many guards are going to be in the level. For this level, God, we could have, like... That's the thing, some levels will have, like, 30-odd bonks. Some will have, like, 3.
I don't normally allow anyone in my kitchen.
Since when is the galley such a secret? 'Tis not as if thou art cooking up poisons and potions.
Of course. Hey!
My grandmother, 'twas more a threat with a rolling pin.
I don't normally allow
That's a good one.
My grandmother, 'twas more of a threat with a rolling pin.
Of course not. Why would I
Dare to test thy mettle.
must remain focused on my creation.
Alex, thank you for stopping by. Have a great day. And there will be some bonks. Bonked by your gran. So there was still like that basement area to explore back in the chapel. It's important to keep your eye on that. Keep that in mind. It's another of those little red boxes. What are they? Looks like a paint can. Ah. Where was the ladder? Oh, it's there. Can you do with explosive barrels? Well, I've never actually... I was going to say I assume you can shoot them with a fire arrow and they'll explode, but I've never actually tried it. I'm guessing that's all that happens there. I don't think they'll, like, destroy scenery or anything like that. Like, sort of like Dark Souls, where you can open up holes in walls and stuff sometimes with them. Although, to be honest, I can only think of a couple of occasions in Dark Souls 2 where that happens. Mr. Another good redemption to do, because we don't necessarily have to do a guard bonk one. Could have how many bodies are discovered. Lazy, because there is also that is a we'll have a look in the stat screen at the end of this and see what is actually tracked, because we could track a bunch of different things. Thief betting, your new latest obsession. Doot. Yeah, there's a bunch of different, like, things you wouldn't even think about. How many reloads would be a very neat one? Do you know what would actually probably be better? I don't know if it'd definitely be better, but will the amount of bonks be an even number or an odd number? But that's almost too random, isn't it? Like, yeah, exactly. Someone would have to be tracking how many reloads there'd be, which wouldn't be particularly fun. Even or odd would definitely be a little bit fairer, because the thing is, like, obviously there's a few people in the chat who have played some of these, so they'd be able to know prior to a mission. Yeah, all right, Lelema. But some people know prior to a mission how many guards there are going to be in a mission. So if I have a bet that says, will I bonk more than 18 guards, and somebody knows, well, this mission is entirely bug enemies that can't be bonked, they would know how to do it. Tomorrow's soup will be just fine. Make sure not to overdo it. The chemical I have given you is extremely potent and will take effect within the day if mixed properly. As promised, you'll receive a handsome pay raise and a promotion as well once I have taken Bishop Cavador's place. Only keep silent until the excitement of the next few days has died down.
I guess I'm not the only one sneaking around in this place.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, Mara, because I think it's just the wording of bonk, innit? Wording of bonk suggests it's gonna be a thwack. Yeah, odd or even probably is a good one going forward. A chemically assisted bonk. I mean, it is a certain type of bonk, innit? It's more of a bonk spelt with a PH, a funk. Or bonk, but the B is in brackets. The gas arrow goes bonk. It does kind of. It makes like a sort of detonation sound, doesn't it? A chonk. He's gonna see me if he comes too close. We're good. We're good. Yeah, that's a good point. The suspicions raised one is a good idea. That could be another one worth tracking. Because the thing is, I basically always do pacifist runs. So there's no point in tracking kills. Loot can vary depending on the level too much. Unless you did like, will I go over the loot amount by however much. Gives you points on how stealthy you were. When you say the dark mod, is that included in Thief Fix? Or do you have to have the dark mod separately? Because I remember reading that the dark mod is basically eclipsed by Thief Fix. Loot percentage, yeah, if that's tracked, that'd probably be good. Dark mod is its own game, right? I see. So it's a whole bunch of different missions. Because I've heard it talked about a bunch of times. But yeah, you could track like how much I go over the required amount of loot. Like, will I go over more than 500 of what I need to loot? Much harder than Thief. Well, probably, definitely have to look into that. Alright, we're out here. People could just say, stay in the level and find more. That's true, yeah. And I think the issue as well that comes across with the bonking one as in how many guards will I bonk, is that I don't really want bets that influence how I play the game. You'd want all the bets to be to not mentally affect me.
The order, 'tis the same, young convert. 'Tis the outward appearance which seemeth different to thine eye. There art many ways to express the builder's will. Some
Secret bets without your knowledge, so that's a good idea.
when thou hast dwelt in our midst for the duration, thou shalt learn to judge.
That was weird. He just started walking away while he was in the middle of speaking, which was very rude. And it got him bonked. I think we are probably... No. We're probably already over the bonk counter, but we might not be. There's a lot of guards in this level.
Was that a sound?
Zaya's got a shorter lunge than Garrett. Confirming it now. That's why Garrett's lunge looks weird. Should have ran coup de grace. Library of the Builder's Terms. What am I even after? Find out if they're capable of aiding me. Find out the name and location of the Hammer High Priest. Sweep the premises for 1300 in loot. Oh shit. I'm very visible, aren't I? Where are my keys? Cathedral key, inner chapel key, right. Neither of those. Get these two bonked. Ah!
Try again, foolish thing. Get up. This is no time to be murdered.
Right. Oh shit. I do feel bad now for anyone who has bet less than 18. But I might be bad at tracking this. Maybe, you know, we're not even close. Should just stop thinking about it. Very handy placed vine here. Oh. Oh, heck. Ah. Is there a way I can get down without breaking my legs? It's okay, it's only Morrow, right? That's why Morrow wanted the... In fact, no, I was going to say that's why Morrow wanted the gas arrows to count, but he would want them not to count, if that were the case. Snack on some cucumber. I have 1 HP. Cheese. Well, these aren't very nutritious snacks. Do I not have a health potion? Oh, there we go. Right, I've eaten all my food and I have gained 1 health state back. So that's good. Oh, we're back here! This was the start of the level! We've done all that and we're back at the very beginning. Brilliant. Very good. Oh shit! I appear to be inside the elevator. There we go. Do the mods just edit the huff command on the fly? I don't know. I thought they got rid of the huff command, to be honest. I saw someone try it the other day and it didn't work, but I'm wondering if somebody had just used it. But I guess so. I mean, they can do, can't they? Let's go to that downstairs bit, to the basement bit. But they do just update it, right? Let's have a look down here. I'm gonna come down here and it's just gonna be like a little storage room with like one item in it. I forgot. The Library of the Builder's Terms. That's what the other door was for though, so... yeah. So we still can't get down there. Need a lost command. Feel free to set one up. Oh, completely missed that. I think Total was saying that you were the only one who bet on less than 18 bonks. Ooh, here we go. Well, that is a good command. So you're just going to edit that Lelimo on the fly for when I am actually lost, or are you just going to leave it at that, and it'll just be a constant state of denial? Because it's not often in these games that I'm not lost. What's that up there? I need all this. Very sort of Minecraft-esque eating sounds. Why am I not healing? We've searched all this. Oh, I don't think we've been up here. Yep, this...
What did I not?
Right. Dear Brother Vesnan, it is, as you said, this town is filthy with tourists, though much less so at this time of year, for the place is foggy and rainy. I'd hoped to find some respite away from the politics of the Mechanist versus Hammerite, but alas, it strikes forth even here. I swear I saw Brother Auric, the traitor, wandering the streets, though he was not in his Hammerite attire. Perhaps he came seeking vacation. I followed him a ways, but he disappeared off into a clothing store. Regardless, I hope things are well with you. I wish to thank you for the gentle warning you gave me of this supposed sunny port, and appreciate the guidance of which I did not take heed. I shall be certain to send you a bottle of our best ale, since I know you like to keep some for long nights at study. That, at least, is something they do well here. That's the thing, like, this place, considering it's called Sunnyport, is dismal, it is dark, it is misty, it's not sunny at all. Or maybe it's ironic. You know. Look, the lock is actually a little hammer. I call the town Shittle Macklestone. I suppose not. Oh, there we go. I can see. Don't really need to see in a room with one box, however. Hath Bookmaster Arafax been taken by the trickster's demons? I called upon him 2 days past for assistance with a reading assignment from our epistemological hermetology course. He foisted upon me 2 entire volumes dealing with soteriological Doclesteliasm and non-modalistic docliatalism at that. As the man completely lost all sense of reason, he then proceeded to ramble on about the merits of reformed eschatological revisionism in a full hearing of all in the library. When I admonished him that our order holds strictly to revised eschatological progressivism, he angrily began listing every breakfast food he's eaten in the last 2 weeks. I urge you to speak with him and recommend a formal inquiry into his doctrinal fortitude. From Brother Nimrod. I enjoyed that. That person is verbose. B. Onum. I'm gonna be lockpicking this door right now. Don't know why I said that. That idiot Gil. Has the man never poisoned anyone before? It was to be a simple task, yet Cavador walks around as if in the health of youth. Either Gil has bumbled the job, or Cavador is truly protected by the builder himself. The later is, I assume it means latter, is hardly likely, considering his lackluster sermons as of late. This is a most curious turn of events. Cavador is the sort of high priest. Rip Terracotta, indeed. So we've discovered conspiracy within the church. Seems as if the poison has only served to strengthen Cavador. I caught him returning to the compound tonight without any heavy clothing, but he seemed unaffected by the chilling wind. I can't think where he would go in this weather without his overjacket, but I suspect it had little to do with the builder's business. He claimed to have been retrieving books from the library, but when I asked him to show me the volumes he hath retrieved, it might have been a bishop, actually. He scoffed and hurried on his way. The man grows more apathetic in his convictions as the days go by. It is by the builder's mercy that he will die soon, lest he receive a greater punishment for his continued complacency. Cavador is still in prime health, and has assigned me to retrieve the orb of St. Basmus from the mausoleum. He claims the leadership in the city has commanded it, but I'm certain this is a plot to get rid of me. He has undoubtedly discovered my conspiracy with Gil, and has planned some sort of ambush. I must be ever vigilant. He has assigned some of the new initiates to accompany me, but I am unsure as to their true spiritual state. Is it possible that Cavador has already corrupted them? This is extremely unfortunate. 'Tis madness to send me, a bishop, into this undead territory, with only novices at my side. The city shall hear of this upon my return. If I cannot clear him out of the way, perhaps the order in the city will do it for me, when they hear of this recklessness. So... yeah, so we know the Hammer High Priest is Cavador, but we already knew that. I'm not sure why that's... unless Brother Onam, Bishop Onam, sorry, is that High Priest, but I don't think so. Please remind the other priests that there are to be no acolytes in the rear compound. The initiates must gain a clear understanding of our hierarchy, and permitting them to enter areas intended for the high-ranking members of the order will not accomplish this task. They are too young and reckless to gain a balanced understanding of the creature comforts and pleasure that the older members enjoy in the compound. At the proper time, they will be given admittance, but not until all violators will be punished severely, both the initiate and the priest from whom he obtained passage into the compound. I don't know what that means. I find myself reading a lot of these, and because I'm reading them out in a silly voice or whatever, I tend to just completely miss the meaning of them. I just sort of read them like a script. You read the words, but do you understand them? Do you know what? I felt sort of reassured by something Limmy was talking about yesterday, about how it wasn't actually yesterday, it was a couple of days ago. He was talking about his he was talking about how he has a sort of acquaintance. I was talking about it in Discord as well. He has an acquaintance who is bad at losing or something, and this acquaintance used to tell him jokes. And then when Limmy was like, I don't get it, he'd be like, oh, well, I'm not a comedian like you are, so... And Limmy was talking about how he had, Limmy was talking, exactly, yeah. He was talking about how he sort of, I don't know if he was saying he has like a condition. I don't think he went that far, but he said he sort of struggles with this this thing of like people talking to him and him not really understanding what they're saying at first, because like even when somebody explains something in very clear detail what they mean, it'll take him a moment and he'll be sat there kind of like, what? Like somebody will give him instructions, and even if they're very clear, just like put this here, do this there, his brain will take a moment to like sort of process it and put it together, and it won't be able to sort of wrap around exactly like that, Latimer. And I was sort of sat there like, yes, I completely identify with this, because that's how I constantly feel. Like whenever I receive instructions in games and stuff, and I will be like reading an objective, and I will sort of reread it to myself over and over again. It'll just be like, go into this room and steal this item, and I'll be sat there going, go into this room, steal this item. Go into this room, steal this item. And I'll have to reread it a bunch of times and it won't make any more sense. And then eventually I'll just sort of snap out of it and it'll kind of click. But yeah, it was nice to hear someone sort of describe that feeling. Hello, Jelith, welcome in. How's it going? Raise thy gauntleted fists like antennas to Karis. That's very good. Very impressed with you. Some masks. Hello. By the Builder. Can I get some thoughts in chat? Do we prefer the Hammerites or the Mechanists as a villain? I would assume it would lean more towards Mechanists, because Karis is a better sort of leader. But Hammerites are cool. No, that's true. Hammerites aren't really villainous like the Mechanists are. But fine then, just as a sort of religious order then, just as a presence in the games. Because yeah, Mechanists aren't so much villains as just sort of a presence. Because you do actually obviously help them towards the end of Thief 1. Overwhelmingly Mechanists then. I wouldn't say Hammerites are boring, but they definitely don't have the same sort of character. They're just sort of bog standard religious extremists. Yes, I know you would, Latimer. But I do think like when they're sort of wandering about chanting stuff and like, I don't know, I just find them a bit, I like them. Have we not got the loot objective yet? Oh, we're about 29 gold off it. Just random religious law enforcement. Exactly, yeah. Whereas the Mechanists have a lot more sort of individuality to them. That's your Catholic upbringing coming out. I had a very Protestant upbringing. And it's not an affectionate one. Although that makes it sound a lot more traumatic than it was. Just very typical northeast England Protestant primary schools, etc. Sing hymns in the hall but not really ever be dedicated to anything. What were you protesting? Very good. They've found missions where the Hammerites make you hold a coin to a wall with your nose. Don't bring that up. Please don't. Oh, that was horrible. Oh, Victorian Day. Why have you brought this up? My keys don't work. How can... There's so many doors that I've not been able to get in. What FM is that? It's not an FM. It's... So I was... I'm going to have to explain it now. So, my primary school, I'll explain it in brief. My primary school used to have a yearly event called Victorian Day, where you would come into school, you would dress in sort of period clothing. So, kids would dress in, like, you know, Victorian era school uniforms. The teachers would too. They would write on blackboards as opposed to the whiteboards which we'd usually use. They would pretend to cane the kids. They wouldn't actually cane anyone. They would pretend to though. And they would get us to do various sort of Victorian era activities. Nice. Last tools. But they would also be like, they would pretend to be more strict than usual. They weren't actually being strict, like, they wouldn't... Thank you, Lalama. They wouldn't actually cane anyone. They wouldn't actually do any, like, proper horrible discipline. But they would sort of do, like, this faux discipline. And I hated it. I used to really hate it. It is a little bit like that, Total, yeah. But I think a lot of it was also sort of celebrate. I don't know if it was celebrating. Maybe that's the wrong word. But it was like just exploring history. This is what it used to be like. Not even that long ago. Like caning wasn't even... No, that it's not that old. Stuff like that, like, and in one lesson, I was forced to hold a coin to a wall with my nose. So you put the coin on the wall, and I would sort of have to stand at the wall like that and hold it in place for like, I think it was only like a minute, but it wasn't nice. It was horrible. Yeah, I can imagine it is, and outside of that, I'd imagine. I don't know. But yeah, in the UK, it was gotten yeah, only legally ended in the 80s. I knew it wasn't longer than like 40, 50 years ago. Oh, that's the High Priest in there. But I can't get in. Oh, I can. Good stuff. But yeah, so it was just kind of like imitation of that sort of thing, and I used to dread it every year. Used to dread Victorian Day, and like I cried on nearly every one until I was like in year like 5, 6, which is like 10 or 11. I used to cry the night before, like dreading it. It was horrible. And like if when I used to like cry in school, like if it got too much, it was too much pressure for like an 8-year-old boy to deal with, a teacher like screaming at them and saying I'm gonna cane you for this, which understandably it was. The teacher would then be like, oh shit, and they would like be proper comforting, and they would feel really bad, and they'd make you feel better. They'd like get you a drink, and they'd sit with you, and they'd make you feel better. But like, how do you let it get to that point? Your 80-year-old geography teacher with built-up rage against you on Victorian Day. My day has come. Exactly. That's what it was like. That's what it felt like. It was like the one time of the year where teachers could proper go for it. It was horrible. And like I say, it's just a bizarre thing to like, as I say, celebrate that sort of thing. I know it's like Total said, like this is how bad it used to be, but at the same time, what? You may be able to beat Onam to the orb. Search the basement library for a map that will lead you to the St. Basmus burial site in the mausoleum. So did I just pick up a key that would get me into the basement, or did I imagine that? Library key, there we go. So there were 2 entrances to the library. There was one that was outside, and oh, that might be a nice little... I guess not. Oh shit. There was also one in the basement of the cathedral itself. But yeah, there is the horrible history of Victorian Day, which so far the only other person on Twitch who is familiar with the concept, I believe, was Danger Newt. They said I think they had it at their school, but I think people were Googling it as well at the same time. Victorian Day from the Victorian Age. So it's imitating the Victorian Age. I imagine in the Victorian Age they didn't also have a Victorian Day. Maybe they had like Medieval Day, where all the kids would show up in like rags and the teachers would wear like suits of armour or something. Because of course that was the how things were. Maybe medieval Day would be like kids don't go to school to get home tutored and then die from the plague. To Victoria's Secret, maybe. Did Henry VIII Day once? Oh, bloody hell. Bloody hell. Wonder if I can get... No, I still can't get into that room. I want to know what's in that room. Yeah, that sounds like a wild experience. Henry VIII Day. Look forward to Mustard Gas Day to show you how lucky you are to be alive. Fuck's sake. To be fair, we used to go to this museum called Eden Camp, which was like an imitation of World War II camp, basically, and it had various sort of buildings that were designed to imitate World War II things. One room was called the Blitz Room, and you basically went through this corridor of like fake buildings. It was like a sort of city street, while strobe lights were just flashing, and there were air raid sirens, and there were the sounds of bombs going off, basically to imitate what it'd be like to be walking through a city street during the Blitz. And I'm not gonna say like I was traumatized by it. It was... Eden Camp was horrible, but it was super interesting. Like, and I think there's probably a way you can demonstrate that stuff to kids without it being horrible. And I think Eden Camp was sort of teetering the line, but it did help in terms of showing you this is literally what it was like, this is what happened, etc., without just reading a book that tells you it. But then there was some stuff where it'd show like it had like a wax model of a prisoner of war who'd been like tortured, like a Madame Tussauds model, and that was a little bit bizarre. That used to I can still remember that one, so maybe that was over the line. I can still very vividly remember looking at that. And then we went into a big hall, a big like mess hall, and they put on a Sooty and Sweep puppet show, which was a bit of a change in tone. Sooty and Sweep, for those that don't know, is sort of like a puppet show in the UK. I don't think Sooty and Sweep still exists. Bit like Punch and Judy, but less violent. Sorry if any of that conversation was... Any of that conversation was a little bit, dark. Took a bit of a turn there. Right, he's not dying. Don't know if I'm going to be able to get around him. Nah. Maybe get behind him through that little back passage. First day on the computer science university campus came with an evacuation routine in case the giant gas refinery it was 200 feet away from exploded. Very good.
Who didst maketh that racket? Come forth now where I might see thee.
So... I think the good thing is I've encouraged him to leave the room. Yeah.
I shall spy thee.
So maybe we can... He'll be out in the open now. There we go. There's going to be a lot of bonks at the end of this. I'm predicting in the 30s. Ah. We got here. We got the map.
Brother Onem, at the request of our beloved brother Cavador, I have collected some information on the artifacts stored in the mausoleum so long ago. Following is a list with a bit of background which should be most helpful. Be mindful of the wills of your young acolytes, as most of these items are heretical in nature. Apparently our forebearers buried these brothers and their possessions far away from the city just for this reason. The orb of St. Basmus. St. Basmus was considered a brilliant mind among the Hammerite order of the city in his earlier years, a master of theological epistemology and eschatology. He shaped much of the thinking of the prophets of his generation. Oh, there's a lot of this. I'm not going to read all that. It is all the loot you can find in there. They spent millions moving students over to it last year. The government said, actually, you can't make people go to a school on the premises of a gas refinery. And they've had to shut it all down. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Every time I hear about, like, big waste of money like that, it's so depressing. So is that all the objectives now? Yeah, we can leave now. Did we come out this... I think this is where we started? Maybe not. No, it was actually down those steps, wasn't it? Yeah, it was round this side. A while back in my old school, we went to a place that's a preserved 17th century jail. Hang on. Am I in the right place? It's over that wall, isn't it? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get down here. Right, we're going to have to go the long way around because I ain't got any else left. There's very realistic models of prisoners and stuff. It's all very narrow and weird and scary, and nothing as scary as fucking McPuddock the Frog. Stuff like that is it's very wacky showing its kids. Has anyone in chat read Limmy's autobiography? I'm thinking of buying it as I'm in need of new books. I think Total has, yes. Look at that. Total is even advertising it. Today's stream sponsor, Audible. I'm kidding. Of course. Oh, we did it. We're out. You were on a school trip to Auschwitz once. Yeah, we had that. I didn't go on it, but we did also offer that. So, the grand total of bonks. No gas arrows were used, so we don't even have to think about that. The grand total of knockouts comes to... Where is it? Knockouts, 22. So we were actually only 4 over the limit. So that's a big payout for the people who went over that. I actually expected that to be way higher.
So I think 18 was probably a decent number there, because that was a lot of bonks in that mission, if you ask me. But yeah, congratulations to the first partakers in the bonk gamble. Not a fan of audiobooks. I like to read in bed and fall asleep too. Lemmy Scottish is hard to understand at times. I would need to concentrate. That's fair enough. I quite like audiobooks because I like to drive with them. But lately I've been listening to the Witcher audiobooks, and for the first probably 2, I really liked them. But these past couple of audiobooks for the Witcher series, I'm on like the 4th or 5th now. It's so boring. I don't know if anyone else has ever read or listened to The Witcher. I'm not even going to get into it. But the first 2 were good. First 2 were very good. Very fun. What other stats have we got then? Secrets found. Bodies discovered. See, bodies discovered could be one. I nearly got all the loot. But yeah. Once the lockdown is over, you will visit a bookstore and buy it. Good stuff. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people liked it.
Lays you down among the unmovings to rest unbidden, exposes your bonesies, wiggling, crawling, oh, I've lost it. It's gone. Lays you back, dries your fine bloodsies. Lays you back, down among the deadsies. Hello, Tomahawk. Welcome back. How did the bet go? The bet went well.
Are extremely fanatical.
We had the bet. We had more bonks than expected. Alamo, enjoy your little nap. Hope it goes well. Should we do the odd and even bet for the next?
In an old abandoned mausoleum just outside of town. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say. However, the plan seems to be backfiring on them. Cavador dispatched Bishop Onum and some of his cronies a few weeks ago to try to find this orb of Saint Basmus, and none of them have returned. It sounds like the place has become too fraught with undead for a head-on assault. I guess I can't blame them for trying.
They look scared.
Believe the orb, if properly used, might give them power to overcome these mechanists and their machines. At least, that's the excuse that Cavador...
I just keep thinking about the pondering my orb meme.
These two seem to be suspicious of one another. I wouldn't be surprised if the story was bogus. But that doesn't change the fact that I need to make it down there myself if I'm going to get the orb. If I can snag it, I should be able to use it to attract the hammers to the smugglers without attracting attention to myself. I have to get in there quickly and get out even more quickly, else I might end up like Onum and the others.
I like it. So, find Brother Onum, or what's left of him. Oh, is he dead? Did I miss the sort of thing there? Have I frozen? Has my camera frozen? I've just looked across and I'm completely still. Am I okay? I look very peaceful there. What's going on there? New emote. Completely at peace. How bizarre. Right, deactivate and reactivate. We're back. We're back and we're moving. That's good. That was bizarre, wasn't it? I was just there like... Yes. Maybe Brother Arnhem just had an unfortunate fate. Grab 900 in loot. Recover the orb. Also some elemental crystals. Let's get those. Oh no, just one. And escape the mausoleum. Okay. Caves. We've got a different type of lockpick now. We've got just regular lockpicks. That looks like the same model used in the Dracula one, where it's just both lockpicks combined into one. I wonder why they used a mix of lockpicks on this mod. As opposed to, you know, like, your usual. So, winter time has got onto Ollie. So, right, okay, fair. So with this one, what I was going to say is, because it sounds like there's going to be a lot of undead, which don't count as bonks, because you can't actually knock them out. But there might still be human NPCs, but there also might not be. I don't know. So we'll do the odd and even bet. Will it be an odd number of bonks or an even number of bonks? If there are 0 bonks whatsoever, it will be a refund. Does that sound fair? Does that sound like it makes sense? I can set up the bet, by the way, if I know I'm not sure at all if you're on mobile or anything like that. But I think Lelamo did the last one, so I don't mind. I don't mind setting up the bet. You're happy to do it. Cool. In that case, I'm gonna 0 is even, yes, but the thing is, like I was saying before, if somebody has already played this level, they will know if there are any enemies that can be bonked, so they'll be able to bet all in on even, in the knowledge that they've got a guaranteed payout, which I don't think is fair. And I would rather just do the payout, just do a refund at that point. Right, thank you for the maths. Thank you for the maths. However, that's what we'll go for. In the meantime, I'm going to quickly go AFK and grab a drink. So don't go anywhere. Bet's up. Bet is up. Will there be an odd number of bonks or an even number? Totally random. But yeah, I will be back in about 2 minutes.
Is that you? Are you mugging me off?
They're too open to abuse, those alert systems. Personally speaking. Too many, I'd just have constantly like little Taffer emotes down here, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but no. That zombie has no head. Which is also something that happens in the game Oblivion. There are headless zombies. Oh, tonight is going to be the night that I get back into Oblivion. I'm deciding it now. If you trust your mods, there's no issue. That's true, but there are a couple mods that I don't trust. I won't say who, but they know who they are. Have you ever seen that clip of Hell's Kitchen? Hello, cat. I've never been big into Hell's Kitchen, but there's one particular episode where it's a Burrick. Yes, Burrick follower emote. I might sort out once I get follower emotes, because we do love Burricks. One particular episode of Hell's Kitchen, there's a bit where Gordon Ramsay's like, right, who do you want? Who on your team would you like to... It's a rat. It's dancing. It's grooving. Grooves in the heart. We do love Burrick. So I'm gonna tell the story now. There's one particular episode where Gordon says to the team, right, who are you picking to get booted out, basically, and why? And this guy's like, so and so. Say Steve and Dave. They know why. And Gordon's like, no, I'm asking you to tell me why. And he's like, well, Steve and Dave, they know why. He's like, but why? They know why. And anyway, he ends up getting booted out because he keeps saying that. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the dancing emotes. Let's get the dancing rat back on stream. Oh! He's off! Hello, Burrick. The Burrick may be attacking me. The Burrick is indeed attacking me. That's not good. Oh, what are you doing? There's a Wi-Fi booster down there and the cat is currently pissing about with it. I don't use the booster anymore though, it's shite, but still. Yes, yeah, he does. He squares up to him. And he's, yeah, comes out with some right shite. Love to 1v1 with Ramsay. I wouldn't. I mean, I know he's a bit of a knob. He's a massive knob. But he looks like he could take my head clean off. But Gordon Ramsay. Even you know, even now, even today. Although he is more inclined to like make a TikTok about it these days. I can't see out. Hello, Burrick. Apparently you can't either, so that's fine. Oh. There is a piece of hammerite here. So bark is bigger than his bite. Do you reckon? Maybe, but I think it's more simply because he's like a professional chef now, isn't he? And like he has to really be careful about his image. But I reckon, you know, he was like a former like football player, wasn't he? Like semi-pro. I'm not saying football players are necessarily the type to go starting fights, but I think back in the day, I think he probably got into a couple of scraps. Yeah, I don't think I could stand up to Gordon Ramsay at all. Played for Rangers briefly, right? So he was an actual professional footballer. I always find it strange that Gordon, like, doesn't seem to have retained us. I apologise if I'm if I'm speaking out of turn here, but he doesn't seem to have retained much of a Scottish accent. Not that, you know, an accent is necessarily tells you where someone is from, but did he ever have a Scottish accent, or do you think it's just something he lost? Oh, he moved down south at 9, right? That explains it then. Hello. But if he wants to, he can still speak in a Scottish accent. Because I've seen him do it on shows sometimes. Do you know when he, like... Those segments where he... Oh dear. Those segments where he, like, dresses up. His mum speaks in broad Glaswegian, right? This is cool music, this. Hello, cat. Cat's trying to get my popcorn. Go get the popcorn. That's mine. What are you doing? What are you looking at? A good clip of him against his mum in the kitchen making apple pie. Yes, in the F Word. Yeah, I really like that bit. Like I say, Gordon Ramsay is a knob, but I do love a lot of his shows. I think the F Word I used to really like. However, there was a lot of stuff like the stuff with Janet Street Porter where she's like raising like cows in a back garden and stuff that she's going to eat. That is a levitating like leg. She's like raising cows and stuff in a back garden to eat. Is I could it never sat well with me. Like, I just made me quite uncomfortable. I can't see anything this level. He's not horrendous, just a bit of a knob. Lots of people are. That's exactly it, yeah. And I think, like, particularly the UK kitchen nightmares have some really nice moments. US is obviously just like very scripted. Still fairly entertaining, but very scripted. But UK kitchen nightmares has some genuinely like really touching moments. Nice. Journal of Merrick, Priest of the Temple of Light. Murmurs from the direction of the tomb last night. Taint of mausoleums is spreading. Even the Forgotten King's heart seems to be losing some of its power. Temple of Light is the last bastion of defense against the evil. If we fall, eventually, who knows what profane vision shall roam the night. Mausoleum was a bad one from the start. Bastard offspring of sick, inbred family. It was almost inevitable that he took to necromancy and the dark arts, so that's that ghost kicking about. Okay. Basically, this place is proper haunted, potentially very dangerous to the to the sea. Your conscience determines the mausoleum's fate. Destroy his mortal remains. Mercurius, sorry. Mercurius's fate. Destroy his mortal remains to rid the world of his undead presence. Right, okay. Get that done. Is that a croissant? No, it's a quill. Perhaps... Oh! Help! The door is shut. Help! Accent might come back talking to someone with the accent. Probably, yeah. Context is very important in that sort of thing, isn't it? Oh, I've lost what I was doing. I went into that room with the bookcase. Shit. Stop closing. Where was that book? It was there. Right. Read that. Grab the potion. Off we go. Don't get stuck in there again. Yeah, whenever I'm angry, I think my sort of Hull accent sort of comes out a little bit more. And I think I go a little bit Sheffield as well. When I get sort of heated. But it's weird because whenever I think of my accent, I always think of it being very light, but people do recognise it as Hull, even when I'm just talking like this, which is always a surprise to me, because I always think of it as being not very Hull. Which is quite a nice feeling, really. I'm not all about, like, pride of your hometown and stuff like that. I don't really think about it too much, but sometimes it does feel nice to be recognised from where you, as where you're from. Right, I don't think there's much more to be discovered. I don't know what is in this room. I can barely see anything in it. I think it's just a cupboard, isn't it? With this switch. Let's leave. What is this? Are these the remains that I've been told about? Jingoism is a great word. What is jingoism? Is it like... I seem to remember it being in some sort of... I don't know, like some sort of Americanism. I might be wrong. Please can I get a quick definition of jingoism? Patriotic nationalism, especially relating to being warlike. Yeah, I did think it would be something like that. Presume you played Morrowind. I've played a little bit of it. I've not played... I'll be honest, I've not played much. Ah, fucking hell. I've played like a few hours of it. It's one of those where I've always sort of wanted to sit down and give it a proper go. But every time I start playing it, I tend to just want to play Oblivion instead. Where was that door? It was through here, wasn't it? Shall I see if I can... Oh, I've chopped his arm off! Can I chop his legs off? I've chopped both of it. Oh my god. Oh, this is graphic. Oh. Morrow did not win, I'm afraid. Are you... Wait, are you the ghost? Just had a thought. It said I had to destroy the remains of that person. Mausoleus. I wonder if this is him. You know? Because we've got like a fire here, haven't we? Come in here, mate. Why is that fire not lit? It was lit before. Right. Oh! He's spitting... Can I not chop your legs off? It's very sort of Monty Python, this. Oh, there's another one here, sir. Maybe not. Oh. I'm dead. I'm sadly dead. I don't think this is how it works. I don't think this is Mausoleus. I could be on the right lines, though, about chucking stuff into that furnace. I'm just gonna get this zombie dealt with. Remove his weapons from him, so to speak. Let's check out down here. There's gems in there. No, they're just sort of little red holes. I want to play Oblivion properly because I always feel like I've just skimmed the surface. Yeah, Oblivion I can just sit and just play for hours, just doing random quests, not really thinking about it just because it's so comforting. But I realise a lot of that is like nostalgia and stuff, which I think you said you used to play it a lot, Giles, so maybe you just need to give it that time to get into it that way. What secret have I just discovered there? Ah, Like a lovely blanket, exactly. You get sat in a blanket, it don't mind what you're watching, what you're doing. You're just happy to be there. Anything up there I can nick? Doesn't look like it. You have to be conscious that these doors seem to shut. Although that looks like it might be a switch to keep it open. Are these the remains of the body? I guess not. There's a robin outside your window. I ain't seen a robin in ages. I love robins. I can't remember, in my starting video, does it have the robin that I befriended in the woods? I mean, you might not be able to tell the robins apart, but I think there's only one video, or one robin I've ever taken videos of. But there's a robin I sort of befriended in the woods once, when I went to this nature reserve near me. And it was on like this stretch of path in these woods, and I would go back to it. I had like a couple of months where I would go to this nature reserve quite often. I would go like once a week or so. And bearing in mind, it was a couple of months, on about 5 or 6 of those occasions, I would go back to this little stretch of path, and the robin would be there, and it would come out, and it would sort of jump around me a bit. It never got too close. Like, it wasn't. Robins are they're quite bold birds. It never came close enough to me that it'd like jump on my hand or anything like that. I always wanted it to, but didn't want to sort of stress it out. But yeah, that was really nice. Just coming back and hanging out with this robin every couple of weeks. It was very special. Bloody hell. It was nice having like a little connection with a bird for a few weeks. Once witnessed a robin mating dance, which apparently is quite rare. That's brilliant. I went to this I think it was National Trust or British Heritage, probably National Trust place with Nicole a couple of years ago, and it'd been a while since I've been bird watching, so I hadn't seen any sort of special bird sights in quite a while. But just as we were leaving, 2 great spotted woodpeckers were flying overhead, and they were like having this sort of, it was quite like a tussle. Like one of them was like flying away from the other one, and I assumed that was probably some sort of mating thing. And they were like dancing about in the trees overhead, and that was super special. A little dogfight, exactly, yeah. Little spitfires just buzzing around. I think that was the second time I'd ever seen a great spotted woodpecker in the wild. It was very special. Is this maybe the remains of Mausoleus? Got very small hip bone. Do I have to use like a... Do I just whack it? Can I smash it with my hammer? That doesn't appear to be having any effect. Very dark, this mission. Can't see out. Maybe I have to chuck something in that lava. There's not really anything I can pick up though, which is a pain. Oh. Oh! Let's take this. No! That was unexpected. That was neat. I enjoyed that. Let's burn this skull. Get it in to incinerator. As they would say. Right. Oh. Well, the red skull just disappeared, sadly. Yeah, let's whack this in here then. Don't know if this is doing anything, but can't hurt. Hello. Wonder if you can like ping the heads off. You have to hit them to do that. I think I have beheaded the zombie, you know. I think it worked. I can't bloody see there. Should be able to get past him now. Oh yeah. Oh, I can't see anything. I don't like missions where I can't see out. Oh, there's something behind that. Gonna have to deal with these two, aren't I? There we go. Let's get some healing oil down us. Oh. Well, she didn't enjoy that healing oil, sadly. So there is like a passage behind that. There must be a hidden switch somewhere. I'm gonna have to increase the brightness a bit more here. It's not gonna look very nice on my end, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. It's a little bit better. Did you incinerate the red skull? The red skull just disappeared when I picked it up. It's not in my inventory either. It just vanished. So I don't know if that means it's teleported somewhere or if it was like a red herring. If you excuse the pun. I think it's just a little cave with some loot back there, but maybe you're only supposed to get there from another area. And the switch is behind there. Let's check out. Ooh. Nothing in there. Check out some other areas. We're not even close to our loot goal, but then we also don't seem to be particularly close in finishing the level. There we go. Dispatched. Check this room. Oh, hello. Right, I write this in the hopes that the builder will send a living soul to reclaim this letter. I do not understand why and how our expedition came to be, but I do understand that there was no possibility of our success. Most of our number were only acolytes, and only 2 older brothers have been on the field of battle. We came unprepared, and now I have just learned, without proper equipment. Our hammers and arrows must lack the builder's blessing upon them, for the filthy undead killers one by one. It is my will that my younger brother Seth inherit the hammer from my room in the seminary at Sunnyport. By some chance, someone of our fold received this message and planned to pursue a like mission. Understand that the key lies in wait here, in this very room. I'm not sure how this ghastly puzzle is solved, but I do know that touching the wrong skull brings certain death. I stood too close as my arrow struck the blue one in the middle, and now I lay fatally wounded. It is doubtful that any of us will live beyond this day, though it is clear that Urnam intends to use us to the last man to accomplish his goal. Fear it is the mercy of the builder that I meet my fate here, rather than by the horrors of what must surely lie ahead. I'm terrified that in throwing the skull into the lava, I've made this puzzle like unwinnable. Oh. Maybe the key was just hidden under the skull. But either way, I'm worried that throwing the skulls into... In fact, no, it can't be that way. In throwing the skulls into the fire, I made a terrible mistake. Oh, bloody hell. Done me right in there. Oh. I sort of like fighting these zombies a little bit more than the usual zombie folk. They're a little bit more I don't know, I like that you have to sort of not adopt a strategy necessarily, but it's more than just bless your weapon with holy water and hope for the best, you know. A new thing I hate, when people have like goodbye chats in Discord to show who has left the Discord. Oh yeah. Yeah, that sounds horrible. I've never come across that, but that's unpleasant. I didn't realise people could see when you left a Discord, to be honest. That kind of makes me worried. Ah. I mean, we're not done down here, are we? We've got the key, which I guess we need to use upstairs. However, there seems to be a few more places down here, like secrets and whatnot. I want to kind of figure out what's going on past here. In this little hidden room. I'm in like 3 that have it, and I just think that's awful. What's the point? There is no point to that. I think it's very high pressure. Sounds like a graveyard, yeah. That's one way to put it. Quite fitting way. Oh. Feel like I need to sneeze. I'm resisting the urge. Look at that, resisted. Expertly. How do I get back there? There must be a way. Thought I'd froze again. No, I just... I hate sneezing. I hate it. We'll always try to avoid it where possible. I think I'm just going to try and head back upstairs. There's this. I don't. Maybe if I use like a water arrow on it again. No. Don't want to waste the arrow. Thought maybe a fire arrow might do it, but ain't got out. We can always come back. Can always come back. Hey up. I wish this... Oh, you're fine. Don't have to worry about you. Oh. Oh my god. I hate that fly attack they do. It's so annoying. There we go. I'm down to like no health again. Maybe I should reload. Maybe we'll find a... Zombies are just everywhere now. Flying around everywhere. Maybe we'll run into a health potion or something somewhere. Something on there? No. I'm gonna reload to before I lost all my health. I'm a little bit stuck. I'm a little bit lost. There is some loot up there. Beat to it. No. Maybe this is hiding something. No. Wonder if these upstairs bits have any sort of significance. Hey. What did we get the key for? Like, what door would it even be for? A battery check?
Battery 70%.
70%, look at it go. Anything back? Oh! A button in your crotch? Oh, I think that's what opened this. I didn't actually look past it, did I? I didn't realise that there was anything over it. Oh, look, we've got his arm. Right. Does that mean... Oh! I dropped that straight. Oh. I feel like I've made a terrible mistake here. I appear to be taking damage while carrying this arm. And I've saved it. Kingpin, thank you very much for the 6 months. 6 months, thank you very much, Jack. That is super generous. How's it going? Welcome in. That is very pog. But thank you very much. Super generous. As always. Right. I'm just taking damage, I think. Why am I taking damage? What? Oh, the walls are closing in. The walls just closed in to squish me. I think maybe we have to take the arm upstairs to the, No, those walls are just going to keep closing. I think we have to take the arm up to that furnace upstairs, maybe. But there we go, we've got one piece of the puzzle. Thought I'd jump in, resub. Realised yesterday I have a uni deadline for Monday, so no life in it at the moment. Hope you're well. Likewise, I hope your uni, hope you get it sorted. I used to do all my uni assignments the night before, without fail. Almost every single one of them, I think. So if I can do that, no doubt you can. Really bad for it, actually. I come to think of it, I'm not certain there was a single assignment that I didn't do the night before. No, definitely not. That was also basically the same for everyone I knew doing my course. So this lit up on fire earlier, didn't it? But now it is not. I think I have to... Oh, shit. Come back. I've lost it. I've lost it back there. That's fine. It's fine. We're all good. Did we come through here? Squished. And what was back through here? Are there any doors up here? What did we get the key for? Just the mausoleum key. Very standard. Hello. Oh, I just chopped everything off him. Oh, hi. Oh, I remember being up here now. This is where we came from, right, okay. There is one eye twinkling there. I wonder if we can get all the eyes twinkling. Bonk your back farewell. Thank you for dropping in and thank you once again for the sub. And see you in a month. Oh!
As decreed by Lord Mausoleus,
There we go. His head is gone. Oh, it's still in there. Why can't I? That'll do. Bit gross. Don't want to touch that. Got a couple of graves here. And behind him. Ooh. Oh, there's something up there. Don't think we can reach that from down here. I got a pasta on the boil. We'll be having mush carbohydrate for lunch. Very good. I think I might have to do pasta for tea because I don't really have anything else in at the minute. Need to do a food shop, but I hate food shops. What a boring thing for a streamer to say. Does anyone else hate food shopping? I hate food shopping. It's like the intro to a bad, like, comedy bit. Once I was out here food shopping and I bought an aubergine. I don't even like aubergines. But I bought it. He looks menacing. I've been food shopping for about 2 weeks. See, I try and go on a weekly basis. I mean, that's so roundabouts how long I can go without. Shouldn't admit this, but I know it's because your parking space will be taken when you get back. I get that. I get that. Don't be ashamed to admit it. I hate food shopping because I have to be around people. That as well. I hate leaving the flat, to be honest. Sort of coming to terms with the fact that, like many people, I am sort of becoming quite agoraphobic. Take care, Rex. Thanks for dropping in. There's something up there. Did I just see something gold? But yeah, I just sincerely hate and I'm slightly terrified of going outside at the minute. And try to avoid it where possible. Oh! This is new. I ain't seen this. Oh. Oh, fuck's sake, it's just a shortcut to get down here. Bloody hell. I'm gutted. Yeah. Yeah, I always knew that I was very awkward. One of those things, like, one of those kids where the parents would be like, he's very shy. He's very shy. But I wasn't really shy. Like, I can be quite good when I'm in a group of people at making friends and that sort of thing. But I don't know, it's just lockdown really has emphasized the weirdness of certain situations. It is exhausting, I agree. I can feel very burned out from interacting with people a lot. This is the room that slowly closes in. Do I have a speed potion or anything? Do you reckon I can make it through there? Let's give it a go. The wall isn't at all closed in now, so maybe I can reach the end. I've reached the end and there appears to be... Oh, there's a ladder. Okay. Went for brunch with school friends and needed 3 days to recover. Yeah, completely understand that. I went to... when I went to my brother's boxing the other night, I just didn't want to speak to anyone for like a week after, and I didn't see anyone for ages. Hated it. Brother Unam's wisdom shall be our saving grace. I should say I didn't hate the event. It was just, like you say, it was just tiring and took a lot. We settleth the plan. setteth a plan to scout out the catacombs with the acolytes. By chance, there is a way to secure our cache of holy relics in the mausoleum. Our numbers are smaller now than at the beginning of our journey. However, we have managed to locate the entrance to the mausoleum. The doors are locked, but builder willing, the keys lays wait somewhere in the crypt. So I've got that, so that's good. Mayhap it sits in the unholy skull crypt. Feels as if even now some unseen doth visit our quest, looking upon us from shadows of this evil place. Biggest problem is feeling there's an onus or expectation to see people. Yeah, I have a similar thing. You were talking, Jarlath, about seeing your family. Like, my family kind of gets together every Sunday, and I tend to avoid it a lot recently, and just I'll sort of drop in on a weeknight because it just feels like less pressure for me, and I can approach it a lot easier that way than like a regular get together kind of thing. That makes it easier for me. But I think a lot of the time, I think socializing is kind of like an exercise in a way, in that if you do it sort of semi-regularly, say you see people a couple of times a week, it'll get easier. If you do it too much, you'll get exhausted from it. And if you do too much in one go, you'll get exhausted from it. But if you kind of try and approach it with the same attitude you would to exercising, maybe that would, you know, maybe that would help. Maybe I'm trying to sort of, I don't know, maybe I'm trying to apply a logic to it that doesn't really work, but that's how I've been viewing it recently. Hello. Oh shit. There we go. Oh shit, I've taken loads of health damage there. I can't be taking that much damage, sadly. Can't afford to. Hit the, oh, are you okay, what's wrong, is everything okay shit. If I decide I don't want to attend something. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's sort of understandable, I think, because, like, I know my family worries a lot when I'm not kicking about much, but it can also be tiring to try and have to explain yourself a lot, and can be difficult. Can be difficult to talk to people about stuff and voice it. People generally don't want to really grapple with that stuff, so there's kind of a pressure to just say, look, everything's fine, just leave me to it, you know. Spend days going back over things I've said that might have been taken the wrong way. Yeah, I worry about that a lot. Probably less so these days, but that might just be down to talking to people less, I guess. But I do, like, when I'm streaming, like, I'll worry about things I've said a lot. Like, oh, maybe this came across as, you know, offensive or that kind of thing. But that's a worry. Mostly it's alright. Get really afraid that someone's going to bring up college and be like, how is it and stuff, because realistically, I want to say, hate it. But I don't want to discuss my transness with my family. Yeah, it's really, like I say, I think the tendency is for family not to really know how to, or for a lot of people, is not to really know how to talk about stuff, and they don't necessarily want to grapple with things like that. And although they'd like to with you, maybe, some people just can't. I don't know. But yeah, I know the feeling of, or I know a feeling of being asked constantly, like, how's work, and I just don't want to talk about it when I'm at home. Don't really ever. This is locked. I am one of the rule of three. Inside my crypt, I hold a sacred relic for thee. Find my son, who holds my crystal key. An avalanche engulfed me in earth. Now my eternal sleep is down here neath the turf. I am a son of a forgotten king. My life was shortened because of a drowning. Well, you would assume that this would be the son then. But maybe not. Just like the whole obligation of being close with your family, etc. Yeah, Total, I know you've got a you've got quite a sort of sometimes I kind of envy the way you look at it, but obviously have your own reasons. May the Forgotten King's youngest son find peace in the eternal lake of the afterlife. But yeah, I feel very much the same way, Gelot. From the earth this statue is carved and dedicated to the Forgotten King's elder son. May the Forgotten King's youngest son find peace in the eternal lake of the afterlife. So there's these lamps about. Maybe you can put these out to unlock stuff. There's only one lamp surrounding this one. Maybe it's something to do with the elements. PP a poo poo. to pay and to pew. Yeah, I don't like talking about anything serious with my family. It's just too difficult. Let's try putting out some of these lamps. Oh. This one won't go out. Maybe that's significant. Alright. Let me try and put out another one. Let's try and put out this one. No, that one won't go out either. Maybe it's significant that that's the only lamp that would go out. That one goes out. That one goes out. No! Got a medallion. Right, this has a green here, so maybe it's the moss arrow. Ah. King's Crystal Scepter, there we go. Ah. There's the King's Heart Ward. Lovely. That could have been it all. I'm glad it wasn't, because I'm rubbish at stuff like sequences and that kind of thing. Yeah. Die, die, die. Oh, shit. Let's get out of here. Back to being in complete darkness. Hi there. Must be very weird discovering all this stuff if you've not completed that optional secret area where we found out about how to destroy the king and burn his remains and stuff. People might be thinking, well, what the hell am I supposed to do with all this? How did I get out of here? Back over there it was, wasn't it? And up here. Okay. Okay. Do you like the Elder Scrolls games or the Thief games more? These days, Thief games. Don't know. Oblivion is like one of my favourite games of all time, so it's difficult to say. Like, but Oblivion is my favourite for like I say, just the ease of which I can play it and all that. But in terms of like Skyrim, I don't really care that much for it like I used to. When Skyrim came out, I loved it and I played so much of it, but I just hit a point where I couldn't play anymore. And there's been a few times where I've gone back to play Skyrim and I just can't be bothered. Start playing, I'll be like, eh. It doesn't do it for me much anymore, so I don't really care about it. But like I say, when it first came out, I played it to death. Can I just donk this here then? Oh no, I can't even use it on this. Don't know what to do with that then. But yeah, Oblivion's totally different. Like I almost can't look at Skyrim and Oblivion as being in the same franchise in a way, because they just have such a different effect on me. Fallout is that for me. Yeah, I'm sort of similar with Fallout. Like New Vegas I love. Fallout 3 I really like. Fallout 4 I played a lot of it when it came out. I played about probably 200-300 hours of it when it came out, and then just don't know. It's alright. I think it's fine. And if I was to start another playthrough of it, I'd probably enjoy it. But Fallout New Vegas is the only one where I can go back to and do repeat playthroughs. What is this? Oh. Don't know what happened there. Hello. I'm not liking this level so much. I don't hate it, obviously. I like the mystery of it, but it's a lot of just scrambling about in the dark. I can't really see most of the time. And it's just like... It's yeah. But yeah, it's difficult to compare. I think Thief and Skyrim are quite... Well, Thief and Elder Scrolls are difficult to compare. I think obviously the stealth in those games is probably very much inspired by these games. But Thief I do tend to enjoy more these days. I can just stick on Thief whenever and just play like a random mission or something like that. Which one you enjoyed more? Yeah, probably Thief. Unless we're talking about Oblivion individually. But even then, probably still Thief at the moment. There's your nice long-winded answer to a very simple question. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing. What time are we on? We're on 3 hours and 12 minutes. I'm debating maybe just saving it here, continuing with it another day, and just raiding someone, because this might be one where I need to do a little bit of research before the stream and just give myself a couple of hints on what to do next, because at the minute, God, we're 40 minutes into that mission and I've made very little progress on the objectives. I've not done a single objective, as it happens. I think I'm close to the loot mark now, though. What loot is that? 715, so we're pretty close. But yeah, I think I'll carry on with that another day if you folks don't mind. Yeah, there's a bit going on there. Should we look for someone to raid? Tell you what, we've received a lot of raids from the wonderful Cressup, and it's been a very long time since I've raided Cressup. So we'll go raid Cressup if that's all right with you folks, if you want to hang around. Thanks for joining me today. I'm really enjoying that fan mission. As I say, aside from that one level, which was a little bit of effort to get done. Do a bit of research. and then we'll get back into that probably Monday night, Tuesday night maybe. But once again, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for the subs and the bits, the follows, that kind of thing, and thanks for the modding, of course. Wait, did we do a bet for that one? Did we have a prediction going there? We did, didn't we? There weren't any enemies in that, so I am just going to refund that. I'm just going to refund that bet because there weren't really any enemies in it. To bonk. Hope everyone's okay with that. But yeah, for now we'll go say hello to Cressup. Thank you very much for joining, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day and take care. Bye bye.